Hi there, my name is Ed Watson and I'm a teacher from Gloucester, and I've just written a book, Top Tips for New Teachers, which condenses all the tips and advice that I've learnt over the years to help new teachers entering the profession. And in today's episode, we're going to look at Chapter 8, which is personal productivity, and we're going to look at three things in particular. So the first one is learning to say no. The second one is making to-do lists and effectively making to-do lists. And then the third one is about doing important and not urgent activities. So the first one, learning to say no. It's important to be a little bit selfish. You're new to the profession. You want to make a massive impact, but you need to concentrate on your teaching first. So I spoke about in an earlier episode, not necessarily jumping into extracurricular activities too early. It's about learning to say no. Be selfish. Hang on a minute, I'd love to do that, but now's not the right time for me. Or it'd be amazing to do that, but now's not the right time. I need to concentrate on my teaching first. I need to do this. Be a bit selfish. It's difficult to say no, but once you do it, it can be quite liberating. Choose those opportunities that are going to maximize your impact, and don't just say yes because it's the easy thing to do, because it'll end up to haunt you in the long run. Like I said, be selective about the opportunities that you take up and the ones that you postpone, or you say that they're good opportunities, but you'll think about them in the future. And run by your schedule. Okay, so make sure that you prioritize the tasks that you want to do, rather than just end up firefighting. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So the to-do list, often when you're new to the profession, you're new to any job, there just seems to be an endless to-do list. So what I would recommend is that the night before, you write a to-do list for the following day. Now, it's very, very easy to, if you don't write a to-do list, just to go from day to day, being in reaction mode, fight or flight, just dealing with endless tasks that are just seemingly thrown in your direction, and you don't really know where you're aiming for. Whereas if you set a to-do list the night before, you will very, very rarely write anything that's pointless or just a filling in exercise. It will be all those things that are really important that you need to get done. And by doing that, when you've got time the following day, you can have a look at that to-do list and make sure that those tasks are the ones that you prioritize, rather than the ones that seemingly come in all the time throughout the day. And it just helps you avoid firefighting and gives you focus for the day. So just before you go to sleep, jot some stuff down in your phone, jot some stuff down in a notebook. You probably will have solved a lot of those problems unconsciously in your sleep by the time you wake up the following day. And it also gives you that focus the following day. Okay, right, these are the activities that are really important. I need to get these ones done before I do the other tasks. And then lastly, it's about doing those important tasks, not necessarily the urgent ones. So where possible, write those to-do lists. Now clearly some tasks are going to be important and urgent. We can't avoid that. Some tasks are going to be dropped on as last minute. They're really important. We need to do them. But that can be quite stressful. Whereas if we plan ahead, if we've got those to-do lists, if we've got a really good clear structure in our heads, and we're using those procedures that I've spoken about to do those to-do lists the night before, we avoid stress, we avoid burnout. But the key is to plan ahead. Make sure that you have planned, okay, this needs to be done the following week, so when do I need to get that done? Take ownership, plan ahead, and try and get those important tasks done, and not the urgent ones. There are going to be a lot of tasks that are not important and not urgent, and we need to try and minimize the amount of time that we're doing those. So they're not important, they're not urgent. We just need to say, hang on a minute, these are just not important. I'm not going to do these, and vice versa. We need to make sure that we're not always doing the important and the urgent tasks, because that's just going to lead to stress and burnout. So these are just a few of the items that I talk about in the chapter on personal productivity. I've got more in the book, but that is the end of this episode. And the final chapter in the book is about well-being. So I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode about personal well-being.